Greetings once again, heroes and villains out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with another chapter of My Hero Academia, where previously, the last desperate plan of Deku and the users of One for All is underway, with Kudo being the testing system to see if they can break through that hardened and bitter shell that Shigaraki has put around his heart, mitigating the damage of Shigaraki's plan to detonate Mount Fuji, causing a massive chain reaction that will destroy the entirety of Japan. Man, that is the most supervillain thing. I mean, it's pretty intense. But Deku uses Black Whip to perpetually pull up massive chunks of the ground to mitigate the damage that Shigaraki's decay does, using both Smokescreen and imbuing his blood into Black Whip, which would allow Kudo to transfer through the blood. This causes Tomura's Detect, or Search quirk, to notice two different entities moving, as Kudo is within the blood, lying in wait. This causes enough of a distraction so that Deku can move in close, because the one thing about being able to sense danger is you're not always able to move out of the way, especially if your opponent knows you can sense danger and can use that to their advantage. Deku's able to get in and manages to impact Tomura Shigaraki with a powerful punch, also launching Kudo within Tomura's body, attacking Tomura Shigaraki's very soul itself. But this causes a link of sorts between the two of them, just as Kudo's last vestiges of his spirit, let's be real, they're all post-mortem dead entities. But Kudo's sacrifice causes a link, where both Deku and Shigaraki are able to see each other's memory. We see Tomura's first meeting with Spinner, Dabi, and Toga, which is played juxtaposed to Deku's fight against Todoroki at the sports festival. It's a trip down memory lane, and we're playing all the best hit. But now that Shigaraki has felt the impact of the first launch, how many more hits is Deku going to be able to get in? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, My Hero Academia number 415, Rejection. Is he gonna reject the quirks that Deku tries to transfer over to him? As Deku tries to go back in on Shigaraki, we see the memory of when Deku teamed up with Froppy and Mineta to take on the villains brought in by Shigaraki the first time around when the League of Villains attacked. As the other users of One for All observe, Shuichi thinks to himself, their memories are blending. The resonance between my brother's factor and One for All was already building at a rapid pace. Yeah, he thinks about the fact that users of All for One were able to see the vestiges within One for All. Shuichi says, and now, after a leader's transfer attack, the resonance has reached a critical point. Am I calling him Shuichi? Yoichi. Oh jeez. Man, the imagery here is intense. Yoichi thinks, in order to claim One for All as his own, my brother sought its soul. But despite all the absurd power he amassed, that soul resides here. We now face the mightiest villain, with armor forged from untold malice and hatred. Putting a stop to such a heinous calamity was always the very reason we've been woven into this chain of power. We are here now, and we see all the other users imbued within Deku's fist, ready to strike out, to strike against the darkness within Tomura Shigaraki's very soul. As Deku gets ready to hit Shigaraki again, the memories from the time at the USJ? Was it? That, disaster, section played, where Shigaraki tried to go for Froppy. Crazy image of the one Nomu. And when Deku tried to go against Kurogiri, and Tomura tried to go in to stop Deku, and I love the juxtaposition of their first class and then their clash now. Oh, that is amazing. Deku goes roaring in, fist ready to strike, Black Whip just covering so much of his body as he yells out, Shigaraki! Well, Shigaraki yells out, Midoriya! as more of those finger armor spawn, but also launch out at Deku, as well as the rivet stabs as well. He's doing whatever he can to keep Deku at bay. Oh, but Deku uses Black Whip in order to get as many of them away. But it looks like one of those weird flesh fingers managed to, get Deku in the side. But Deku just delivers one hell of a punch to Shigaraki's midsection. And this time it's En who's transferred, breaking through yet another layer of Tomura Shigaraki's soul. But suddenly Deku is bounced back. He thinks to himself, the transfer of One for All got bounced back? But as he views Shigaraki, what looks like damn near a massive hole in Shigaraki's midsection, he thinks, it did damage though. Banjo talks to Deku saying, the scumbag rejected us. Should have known this might happen, considering his will was strong enough to steal one of us away. Only the 6th En got through, and just barely. We have him to thank for that latest damage. Okay, so for a second I thought that En wasn't able to do anything, but it's that they were all trying to go, like just fire all the shots at once, but En was the one to get through. Okay, God, I'm gonna miss En. I'm gonna miss all the users, honestly, but let's be real. Deku shouldn't be living with a whole bunch of guys living in his head. Well, bunch of guys and one woman. Deku thinks to himself, meaning he couldn't completely shut himself away. If only those growing hands and fingers could receive the transfer. But no, this attempt only went through the moment I broke past the fingers and struck his chest. Transferring through the fingers won't work. They're like dead nails or a layer of grime. Ugh. I'm actually glad for that explanation, though. I wasn't even thinking about just transferring it through the weird flesh fingers. Oh, but Deku looks up, seeing a vision of what looks like a young Tomura. He has black hair, though. Is he hand in hand with his father? But it looks like that's All for One. Odd. But Deku focuses in again, saying, we're getting there. We'll try again as many times as it takes. Jeez. God, oh man, some of these images are so amazing. Deku isn't even reacting to the freaking wound in his side. Black Whip. Well, he's probably using Float right now to stay airborne, but I love the tendrils of Black Whip just coming out of his back. Kind of makes him look like Doc Ock. And then in front of you, you see Shigaraki creating more and more of those fleshy fingers just coming in over and layering so he can protect himself from what Deku's trying to do. Loving the intensity. Then you have something that kind of looks like a golden snitch, but it's obviously some kind of surveillance drone, just hovering nearby but at a safe enough distance not to get caught up. We still see Gentle, slowly trying to lower UA. It's getting close. He's almost done. It's close enough that if he drops it now, I think it'll be okay. But someone is calling in from UA or to UA saying, super duper long range remote control is made possible thanks to satellite uplinks. It's probably Hatsume. UA boasts peak performance even when it's on the fritz. Yep, sure enough it's Hatsume. The moment it started sounding like a sales pitch, I'm like, it's Hatsume. And sure enough, Hatsume is communicating with someone saying, that particular baby informed Midoriya that his gauntlets were finished. It had a crash landing of its own, so I retooled it to be sturdier than ever. Oh, the one that transferred his stuff that one time. Okay. Is that Gentle? Okay, he's landing next to Cementos, who's making like a pathway so everyone can evacuate out of UA. Gentle lands nearby saying, allow me to assist. Cementos says, help the injured. Let me know if anyone can't walk on their own. Okay, so Hasume is in contact with La Brava. Hasume says, he's a valued client of mine, so if I want to provide excellent service in the days to come, I'd better reserve him in action. While La Brava says that's the same boy who got my beloved thrown in the slammer, which somehow only helped my sweetheart to be even more amazingly, wonderfully stupendous. Oh God. And I guess it's both of them saying shame on those who don't pitch in. Youth A is finally led into the water while the people scramble away saying, crash landing, get it to shore, give us a hand. Meanwhile, one of the finance kids who was filming notices something on his phone saying, huh? What on earth? What did he see? Meanwhile, at one of the shelters, the people are watching the battle still raging on saying, whoa, what is that? A giant clump of hands? Oh, and then Ectoplasm calls out, Ah, not so fast. Wait, Eerie! As Eerie runs off. But where would she be going? I mean, where this is going down, I doubt she'd be able to make it. Or at the very least, it might be a situation where she makes it like at the very end of things and is able to control her powers enough to make sure Deku isn't like killed or doesn't like die or something like that. Because I don't see Deku dying in this. It would be a little too bitter of an ending. But I do see him losing most, if not all, his powers, like I've said before. I'm just wondering how many hits it's going to take to start getting to some of the deeper memories and all that. And considering what Deku is trying to do, what even remotely has the potential to save Shigaraki's soul. Because Deku wasn't abused, but there is one memory. Just at one point, they both wanted to be heroes. That's it. It is wild, though, that we never found anything out about Deku's dad. I mean, it's maybe not very prevalent, but it was made to seem as though his dad just kind of worked in different areas or something like that. Or I kept thinking we were going to find out Deku had a quirk when he was younger, but it was stolen away. Because the doctor who told him that he didn't have a quirk was Garaki, the doctor who worked with All for One. Or was that just a, moment? Just a little Easter egg, more or less. I don't know, I keep wondering when that comes into play. But art, as always, Horikoshi is amazing at art. Anyone who says that Horikoshi's art is bad, I don't know what the hell you're on. By no flex of the imagination is his art bad. It's a little risque with a few things that it probably shouldn't be, but Japan has a different culture, and I sometimes have to look past that. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who will be the next former user of One for All to go? I actually thought it was going to be Bruce, following behind his leader. It feels weird that N was the next one up, but we'll just have to wait and see how things go down. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till then, bye-bye.